Welcome to the Historic Tennessee Theater in downtown Knoxville, Tennessee. We are so excited that you're going to join us today for a virtual tour of the theater. We're going to see a lot of the areas that you know and love. We're also going to go onto the stage and downstairs into the dressing rooms and some other backstage areas. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind tour. We've never done this before, and I look forward to talking about the theater, its history, and hopefully you'll learn something new. My name is Becky Hancock, and I'm the Executive Director of the Historic Tennessee Theater in Knoxville. The theater was built in 1928 at the height of the movie palace era, when movies were the primary form of entertainment outside the home. And movie studios designed these theaters to be opulent, to be extravagant, and to really lure their customers in to see the product, the movie that they were presenting. The Tennessee Theater was built in the Moorish style of architecture, but there are really lots of different influences throughout the building. You have these beautiful chandeliers in the lobby, which are somewhat French. You have a lot of Italian tile, terrazzo floors, but then you have this Moorish, sort of Moroccan, North African, Spanish colors and architectural details throughout the building, which is why it's called Moorish Revival. The theater was very active as a movie theater for many, many decades, from 28 on. Showed films 6 days a week, several thousand people through the building every day to see movies here. So the theater showed movies 6 days a week, and the movies were preceded by a performance at the mighty Wurlitzer organ. And the Wurlitzer was designed to accompany silent film, but we did not use it for silent film because the time the theater opened, films had a soundtrack. So the theater audiences were entertained by the organ before the movie. We still do that today. We still have our organ. It is renovated as well, and we play it before our classic films, and we also play it once a month for free concerts on the first Monday of the month. So the theater went through ups and downs throughout its existence, and it closed in 1977 for the first time, when downtown was really very quiet and desolate, not a lot of activity downtown in the 70s. So there was a lot of concern about what might happen to the theater. A local businessman bought the building in 1980. His name was James Dick, and Mr. Dick founded WIVK Radio. And he loved this theater, and he wanted to be sure that it was preserved, so he bought it. And his company operated it for about 15 years, and that's when it really started to transform from a movie theater into more of a performance venue. The Knoxville Symphony began doing regular concerts here in 1985, and the opera in 1983. But the problem was the building wasn't really designed for full stage productions like opera or full symphony or touring Broadway. So there were some logistical challenges and just some physical constraints of the space. In 1996, the theater was transferred ownership to a nonprofit foundation. So since 1996, the theater's been a nonprofit, and that was when the movement started to restore the theater and figure out what needed to happen to make the building a viable performing arts facility in the 21st century. So the board of directors began some feasibility studies and architectural studies, and determined that they had to do a complete renovation and restoration of the building. That was about a $30 million project. It was 19 months from June of 2003 to January of 2005. So we have a brand new stage house with a nice deep stage and lots of storage capacity in the back, state-of-the-art sound and lighting. And then what's really impressive to most people though is the restoration of the front of the house. So all the auditorium space, all of the lobby spaces, both in the grand lobby, in the foyers outside the auditorium, and even the lower lounge by the restrooms. All of that detail was brought back to its original grandeur. All the chandeliers were restored, the carpet was replaced with original pattern of carpet, and then all the soft goods, the draperies, the curtains, the valances, all replaced to look exactly like it did in 1928. One of the challenges of the renovation was that the stage level is 2 stories above the street. So in the old days, we had to load in through the front doors, so through the lobbies, through the house, and then up onto the stage. Really challenging, damaging to the beautiful interior. So in the renovation project, they actually designed a large scenery lift that is just off stage left. And it's about a 12 by 30 foot flat lift, and it goes down 2 stories and opens through large doors, an overhead door, so the trucks can pull up on State Street, unload all the sets and scenery and sound equipment and whatever else onto the lift, and then it comes up 2 levels all the way up to stage level. So it's much easier to get things from the trucks and onto the stage. We also have a lift that's at the front of the stage, and it's usually used in one of 3 positions. When the symphony is in the building, it's all the way up to stage level so that they can fully extend and spread out onto the stage. Very often it is at audience level, and we put additional chairs in the pit so that people can sit right up close to the artist. And then sometimes it's all the way down in the orchestra level so that when there's an orchestra in the pit and the performers are on stage, that's where the pit lift is. It's also how the organ gets up and down from its storage space up to the performance level on stage. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's virtual tour of the Historic Tennessee Theater. And if you want to learn more about the theater, I invite you to visit our website, TennesseeTheater.com. Under the Discover tab, there is a history timeline that talks a lot about the history of the theater, the different performers that have been here over the years, and some of the movie highlights through the theater's history. So thanks again for joining me. Have a great day.